Have you ever heard of the stay command? And do you wonder why you should teach your dog to stay? Well, here's a very simple answer. Look at us. Picture perfect, right? You have my frontal, you have Seppi's frontal. I'm having a conversation and Seppi is right there. She's not moving and it's making this awesome, beautiful. This is what I want for what I am doing. For you, it could be something else. So you want your dog to learn how to stay where you put it. If you put it in a sit or in a down, and you want it to be able to stay even if you move away from it. I've taught Seppi this for barely a week now, so she could still use a bit more work, but it will give me the opportunity to explain how to teach it and also how to apply the principle of correction that helps the behavior to stick faster and faster. So for instance, if I walk towards you guys right now, she might get up and follow me, and then I'll apply the principle of correction. Nope. To correct the behavior. So I'm going to do that now. Nope. Nope. So every time I move her back, I'm popping the collar intentionally. And then when we get here, I'm not going to say the sit. I'm just going to do that. Yes. And when I say yes and I walk this time, she's going to register that that was a correction. So she's not going to follow me, as you can see. So that's how the principle of correction works with teaching the stay command, right? And I don't know if you've noticed what just happened, but if I have to break it down, it's simple. I ask the dog to sit over here, and if she breaks free, the idea is I bring her back quickly to the same spot. Let her sit exactly where I left her in the same manner that I left her, and then mark again without repeating the command. So the only words she will hear are no and yes. No to mark the moment she gets up from where I left her, and then I will take her there with a yank every step of the way. This is constantly sending a signal that she's being corrected. And when we get here, I'll use leash pressure to put her back in a sit, and then I'll mark yes, and then I'll leave her. So the only two words she hears are the no and the yes, okay? But when we go back to the basics of how to teach the behavior right from the beginning, yes, you will need treats. Sometimes you can do without treats, but then I always like to teach positive reinforcement methods first and foremost. So we're going to deal with treats right now. So you make sure she likes the treats you have. So let's see if she likes this. Seppi likes everything. So she takes the treat. I know she likes it. Come. Yes. So now that we're walking together, I'm going to lure her with a treat and reward her. Yes, and reward her. And then I'm going to ask her to either sit or lie down. Sit. Yes, and I'm going to reward her for that. Now, when I reward her for sitting, I'm going to have a treat in hand like this. And then I'm going to take one step back like that without moving my other leg, and then bring the step back and say yes, and then reward. That's the foundation. So when the dog doesn't know the behavior at all, when you take this first step back, well, she has corrected herself because she's been taught, but then otherwise she would have continued. So whenever that happens, as soon as she tries to get up, you come back immediately. And if you come back quick enough, she stops herself and she either goes back in a sit or you use this to put her back in a sit, okay? So for the foundation stage, you need to be holding on to this. And then when she goes back in a sit, you repeat again. So you have the treat in hand. You take one step back and then bring the step back. Yes, and then you mark. So if you do this a few times and then 3 times in a row, she doesn't budge, then the next step is you mark yes, take 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, yes, and then mark. Right? So this time I'm taking this 1 step back and then I'm adding this one and I'm marking yes because she stayed. And then when I come back, I say yes, and then I reward her. And then when she gets that, then you can increase. So 1, and then I add this. Then this time 2, and then I add this, yes. And then I come and reward. So at that stage, she begins to get the idea, and then I free her. Free? Yes, very good. So this free part is very important because you want that break in between. The break gives her the reassurance that she's not going to be stuck there forever. This is just an exercise. So what is she looking forward to hearing in order to have her freedom again? You need to reassure her that that's going to come in the form of the command free. So we do it, let's say 2-3 times, and then we free every time at the beginning before we begin to push it. So I'm going to do that again. This time I'm going to do it a bit quicker. Sit. Yes. So 1, 2 this time. Yes. 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 Yes, she's done so well, and then I free. Free. Very good. So now when you're teaching the stay command, like the way I teach it, you realize I don't actually say the word stay, right? The idea is you ask someone to sit. You don't need to tell the person stay. Sit, and then you sit. I'll be right back. And then, you leave and you do your thing. So I want our relationship to be conversational, right? So that's how I teach the dog to sit. I teach her that sit means just basically sit and wait until I tell you to do otherwise. Sit. Yes. So the next stage is to turn your back to your dog. When you turn and she's still there, yes, you mark, you come back and reward. And then you try it again. So I turn, walk away. When I turn and she's still there, yes. And then I come back and reward, okay? So every time you turn, you want to check at the beginning, you know, when you're teaching her fresh, because you want to make sure that if she's getting up, you say no in time and you apply the principle of correction I did right at the beginning, bring her back to the same spot and then mark yes, and then you repeat again. And yes, come back and reward. And then of course, after 2 or 3 times, free. Yes, very good. Please, even on the free, make sure you mark. You notice when I free her, I mark and I say yes. Sit. Yes, very good. So now the final stage is always to try to help her to get used to staying. Even if we're walking the same way, all of a sudden I say, no, you sit, I continue. And then I start to continue. I wish you guys could see what just happened. 7. 7 picked up my hose and she's pulling it away. Yes. So if I walk forward, I want her to stay. So if she stays, I say yes, but if she gets up, I say no. And then we come back again. So as I said, this is the next level, right? This is the more difficult level because it's like, we are all going, then you've made me sit and you want to go alone. Sit. Yes. And then I try again. So every time I correct, I'll take her back to the same spot. That's how she knows it's a correction. Yes. Then I come back here. Yes. And then I reward her. So we can do it twice. Yes. So if you get it like twice in a row, yes, then you can free her afterwards. Yes. Very good. Yes. 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 Good girl. Very good. She's done so well. All right, free. Good. Very good. All right, so that's how you teach your dog to stay. And I did it in the sit. So all these things that I did in a sit, you can also apply in the down. Down. Yes. So I'm just going to go to step 2 first. Yes. Come back and reward. Then I'm going to free her. Good. Free. Yes. Then we're going to come back to the facial or frontal pose. Sit. Sorry. Yes. Down. Yes. Same thing. She's in a down. And I keep going. Yes. And then I mark. Yes. Repeats. So when she gets good at it, then you keep stretching it. So this time I'm going to walk past the camera towards the gate. If she gets up, all I need to do is apply the principle of correction. So I'm not shaking, you know, because I know exactly what to do. So the idea is when you're practicing this, you don't want to be careful. You don't want to be walking like that and all that. Just feel free, okay? Feel free, just as long as you know what to do. If she breaks free, you correct. Because when you correct, you're teaching her that, look, no matter how casual I am, when I say stay, stay. But if you're always sneaking, yes, and you're doing that, then she'll always stay when you're doing this. As soon as you start getting casual, then she'll start to break free. And that right there is how you go about teaching your dog to stay. And I'm sure you figured out at the end of this video how important that is. And you can see its benefit to me. Look, me, Seppi, Ball, all facing you guys, simply because Seppi knows how to stay. Good girl, very good. Good, 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 good. All right, free. Good. Just go.